Hello, my friends. Um, I had to do some kind of video to commemorate a few things, even though I'm pretty tired, pretty grody. Uh, it's hot here. Like, we're having a heat wave, and I don't have any central air, so that's a whole crisis that I haven't written about in the description below yet. But it's one I've been enduring for several weeks. So, it's one reason I've been keeping my survival fund going. Just trying, I had to buy a tower fan, and I'm going to buy a few more. Um, and I'm seasonally affective disorder with hot weather, and I'm on medication that makes it worse. So even a lot of direct light can make me kind of sick and vertiginous. So I'd be the perfect goth, I guess. My hair's totally screwed up, so I decided to throw this on. So I don't think it's going to be a permanent look. Sorry, Tim McLean. Maybe. But anyway, I am wearing my Kikaider shirt, so um, I'm just kind of rambling. What I really wanted to say is that I'm gradually trying to get out of the hole financially, hold on to my house at least a few more months. And then 2023, I think I'm going to have some major life changes, and I hope going forward they will make a lot of things that are very difficult for me to do now easier. Um, I'm hopeful, but I'm on a lot of medication. I mean, that's probably the buffer that's keeping me from, going somewhere I've been before, unfortunately, and I don't want anyone to go there. It wasn't pleasant. But hey, so I've reached 250 subscribers, and more and counting. And thank you. Um, I'm baffled by my channel's sudden attention, but I'm not complaining at all. I'm going to darken this a little. Um, but yeah, I'm dumbfounded, but I'm overjoyed. So I posted about it on Facebook and tagged the appropriate channel patrons. I don't have many yet. I hope to have a lot more, but I know times are hard for people. So let me just throw out, uh, who I want to thank, where the channel is, and what my future plans roughly are right now. And then I will bid you adieu. So I want to thank Tolbert. He's been the permanent channel patron, number one. He has been basically a collaborator on this channel, someone who has really helped it keep going. He's kind of like my producer almost, except he's not the producer that puts this kind of physical stuff together like YouTube content creators. He's the producer that, like an executive producer, he like actually helps fund the operation. Um, he's really not able to do as much now, and that's totally fine. And I want him to. I want his life to improve, but not just as much as I want my life to improve. And it's rough for me and all my friends right now, and probably most Americans, and probably most humans, and most other creatures, from our fellow creatures, because animal love is forever and it's unconditional. I don't know why I threw that in there, but I don't talk enough about animals, but I'm obsessed with animals, and a lot of videos I watch, yes, are about cats, and I've really been able to hone my relationship with my feline buddy. I don't know where the hell he is right now. I was hoping he'd be in this, but you guys have met him, Kal-El. Uh, God, I don't want to sound doom and gloom here, but I don't know what I'd do without him right now. It's something I don't want to think about. He's 9 years old. He's very healthy. He's very sprightly. He acts more like a 2-year old, which is good because most of his life he acted like an insane kitten. We didn't always get along. But anyway, I got to thank him, I guess, for emotionally keeping me going to do this. And wish he would, make more appearances and act on camera because he's quite a ham. Um, so yeah, I want to thank Tim, and he's made it possible for me to see a lot of the theater movies I've seen. Um, and review a number of items, and that's been awesome. My next patron, I don't. I'll be honest, I don't know a whole lot about personally, but they've been helpful. The mysterious Terry Mulford. Terry Mulford has purchased several items for me to review. Off the top of my head, I can't remember which. In the last few months, I can't remember what Terry bought, what I bought, what Tim Tolbert bought. I do remember what some other people bought because they were less, less items. Um, which leads me to Sean Lee Levin. We've been great friends for, I mean, I've known him since like late 2004, early 2005. We were in the same general kind of scene, the Wald Newton, Philip was a farmer fandom scene. And uh, we were both kind of on the periphery of it, but in different ways. I think our views were a bit at odds at first, so I didn't really interact with him that much. But as the next several years went by, we started texting, we started Skyping, and I've watched Sean grow. He's had a lot of issues and problems of his own, and I have alluded on this channel that we kind of had a just needed like a siesta. That's not the right word. A ceasefire. That's not the right word either. It all sounds bad. We just needed kind of a break from each other to collect our respective heads and engage with each other. I think in a less judgmental way, probably especially on my part. But I think we were annoying each other, and sorry, Sean, for my part in that. There were other parties involved who I'm not so forgiving of, and I won't get into that at all. But anyway, he's still just about my best bud, and yeah, he helped the channel by providing Bohemian Angel, but he's also been, a kibitzer. He's helped spread the word about the channel, share it. He's liked all my stuff. He watches them. He gives me feedback. I really couldn't do it without him. Another great friend who's not a channel patron that I probably couldn't do it without is Tim McLean. He's been like a friend and brother, mentor slash just dependable human, of which there are very few in my life of the last few years. I've noticed, and it keeps shrinking. But he's there, man, for me, and I really appreciate him. He's helped me a lot recently to save some money on some things, and he hasn't contributed directly to the channel, but he does give me a lot of feedback. Other than Tim Tolbert, I think McLean gives me Mr. McLean. I'm saying it because he's a Tim also. Mr. McLean. He gives me the most like verbal feedback and written feedback on what he thinks about what I'm doing and what he thinks about the things I'm covering. So his views are really they're important to me, and I keep them in mind when I'm reviewing, especially films, but really anything in the artsy area that I travel in. That sounds kind of pretentious. I don't mean it to be, because I travel in it mostly alone. So it's not like I'm a seamster or a hipster. I mean, this hat is not to be a hipster, I assure you. But it was given to me by a hipster, my ex-wife. But what can I say? And then there's Shelley Druckery. She's been a very good friend for several years, as with Tim Tolbert and quite a few people who follow my channel and quite a few people who are in my Facebook film group called Deep Images. It's a private group, but I've been posting it where you can join if you're interested. I'd love for you to apply. I can't approve everyone. It is a screened group because in the groups I was in that led to it, where I met Tim and where I met Shelley, there was a lot of drama and ego, especially in the moderator areas, of which I was in for a little under a year in one. So when I started this group, it took a long time to take off. It hasn't really taken off yet, but it's got like 400 members. But I've had it over 3 years, and a lot of people have come in, a lot of people have left. Only a couple people have left acrimoniously because of things that happened in the group. I mean, there are people that I've severed friendships or romantic relationships with, or vice versa, who left the group for those reasons. But but as far as behavior in the group, there's only been three people who really went out of line. In 3 years, I mean, three people, that's pretty amazing. And I actually personally made up with one of them later. Though I don't feel like I can let her back into the group after multiple transgressions. Um, one blocked me, and that was sad. She was pretty cool, but she was angry because I liked a Serbian film, and then she hated me for that since, like personally hated me. I've talked about that in my Serbian film video, which is doing really good now. I appreciate you guys watching it because it's been kind of laying around for like a year, and I think I changed the graphic maybe. Something I did that kind of raised it in algorithms, and now it's got almost 2,000 views in a very short amount of time, and I really appreciate it. It might be also because last year Marion Bad is covered on the same video, so I'd like to think that they're fans of that movie who are wanting to watch it. But I know the notoriety, people are always going to be curious about what anybody thinks about a movie that controversial. Anyone who travels in these general circles, and of course I'm including myself. I might not read every review of every controversial movie, but if something catches my eye and it's a movie that's controversial and I either like or I'm just curious about the movie, like haven't seen it, or curious how do other people feel about this movie, which I think is part of my channel's growth, is people are just curious about what I think about some of this stuff. They may think I'm off my fucking rocker, with my opinions and views, and YouTube no longer shows dislikes to watchers, but not only that, they no longer show dislikes to us, the content creators, unless you're monetized, I think. Then they show you. So I really can't see dislikes, and part of their reason, they said, was because they thought it would be too discouraging for up and coming small content creators. Now, I actually agree with that in my case because I can be very sensitive at times, I admit, and it is a little hurtful when you see a whole bunch of dislikes. I've only had one video that had really a lot of dislikes, but I have been ratioed on my most popular video. My most seen video has been ratioed dislike against likes just recently, not by a huge margin, but enough to make me go, wow. A lot of people have watched this, but of the small amount that clicked those boxes, twice as many people disliked it as liked it. And that's like, wow, okay. So, but it gets like 500 more views almost every day. So I'm not worried about that. It was surprising. So we can see the ratios, the percentages on our statistics, but we can't see the actual number of dislikes. However, if you just do some basic percentage math, you can go, oh, if I have 3 likes, and that's 50% of my thumbs, and I have 50% dislike, then that would mean I had 3 dislikes. So I had 6 reactions, 3 positive, 3 negative. So yeah, overall I'm doing good in those areas, but yeah, a couple took me off guard. But that just comes with the territory, and the more people see your stuff, maybe the more people like it, the more people will hate it. So, a long roundabout way of getting back to the fact that I have a group on Facebook called Deep Images, and I've only had 3 troublemakers. And people will freak out about a Serbian film. But my ultimate point was that my group grew out of and grew because of people I met who were part of these other groups, 2 other groups I was previously a part of, and I became part of that community. And when I had a split with the last one that I was a moderator with, some people went with me, some people stayed with the group, some people stayed neutral in both. But a lot of I stayed friendly with most of the people. And to be in complete disclosure, I mean, it's nothing that I did, but just to show you the maliciousness of certain people, uh, I had an early video, not a blue review, but it was an unboxing video, and it's one of the first ones I did. In the present era, I did it like 3 years ago. I mean, well before opening up this channel and doing it regularly, but way after the material I did with my ex-wife, the retro drum stuff. And it was just an unboxing of that rare, now, well, it became rare, Django um, steelbook, which, I did that unboxing. I did later cover it on a steelbook episode of Blue Review with a few other steelbooks I had, just going through them, showing them off. And, but yeah, on that Django video, there were people who were angry at me over what had happened with the split with me and that group I left. And so they ratioed the hell out of me. That's where I've gotten the most disliked. And I know who several of them are. They're all people I've blocked on social media, and I wish they just not. And I think they don't pay attention to what I'm doing. But now with my dislikes growing, I'm wondering, is it just more people are watching me and dislike what I'm doing, which is organic? I can't control that, and I'm not trying to. Or is it the troll patrol, as I have sometimes called them? Are they back in action? And I wish we had left all that shit behind, that childish drama behind, when we all migrated from Yahoo communities over to Facebook. But no, it obviously it worsened. So it's good to have allies who can help you and get together and support you, be part of a community. But if you make some enemies, which you will if you're an outspoken person like I am about other things, then they also have a community and they can rally their troops against you. But I'm not one of those people who thinks all that should be controlled by big tech. That seems to be the answer that pundits and media, mainstream media, and our government, are saying right now, in order to control harmful or negative content or any kind of conflict, especially if someone has a problem with, the way things are, or perish forbid want to change the way things are. The answer is just to censor them, demonetize their channel, shut down their channel, make sure they can't talk, get on Twitter and get your legion against them, talk smack, dox them, ruin their reputation, smear them, and try to destroy them. That happens much more on YouTube with the left-wing community that I'm part of on YouTube and proudly a part of, a true left-wing movement. It's an amazing community of wonderful people, and I don't talk about it a lot on these videos. And I did not launch my channel devoted to my views in that area for a lot of reasons, but one reason I will admit is because of the sheer amount of negative energy you open yourself up for, and I had to decide, I can mention my beliefs about anything on any video I do. But if I devote whole videos to a certain cause, which I would love to do and still plan to do, yeah, then we're going into another area. You're a mass. You become a target, not a big target, but the bigger you get, the more of a target you are, and people judge you by who you know or who you follow or who you agree with on certain issues. And it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. I think my experiences on Facebook have been much worse than my experiences on YouTube. Especially regarding fandoms, like the kind of stuff I talk about: movies, comics, books, music, art, all that kind of stuff. I've had much more toxic repercussions from that stuff on Facebook than I have on YouTube, and I've had and one reason I have dialed down the amount of actual on-screen time I devote to political matters is because I've had an enormous amount of toxic negative energy hurled at me on Facebook. I've been told to kill myself, I'm worthless, I'm nothing, because I want to do things like have universal health care and, living wage and ending war and all these evil, horrible, nasty, things, eliminate racism and prejudice and help workers and take the power away from the oligarchs. I'm such an evil, horrible, evil, nasty piece of shit, according to hundreds of people on Facebook have attacked me over the years. It was relentless 2015 to 2017. I mean, you can probably figure out why. And I did start my show. I filmed an episode. It was called Bernie and Beyond, and it was going to be the first episode. And it was basically, here's where we were in 2015. Here's how I got involved. Here's what changed in my life. Here's what changed in the world and what movements started to blossom. And I ultimately didn't post it, and I was glad because there's some things I think it could have been presented a little better. As usual, I went way off topic and tangents like I'm doing now, and I think that diminished some of the effectiveness of it. But suffice to say, that era was the most horrible I experienced on social media, and I had to get a lot tougher and stronger and more cynical, and to certain people meaner. I had to let some people go. I had to let some years-long friendships end. Or make them end because they were so toxic. Not just verbally, but to the point where, there were one or two friends I had that I knew in real life who, it didn't get to physical violence, but the negative energy they were attacking me with was so severe that, it just, I mean, fuck. I just gotten over a divorce. I was trying to get, I was trying to get my life together, trying to improve my mental and physical health, and it was working. And part of my positivity was coming from feeling a part of this movement and for the left and for helping humanity. And here I was getting attacked by people that I knew that I had trusted, people that had helped me a lot and that I helped too. And wow, it really changes your perspective. So my approach is a bit different. So that's the political rant. So out of that whole original movie movement, I met Shelley Druckery. I want to thank her a lot. She has given me access to several channels so that I can patronize certain films at no cost to myself. And I thank you. She's been a good friend and someone good to talk to. She's very cool, and she's been a customer of mine with stuff I buy and I sell. I'll get to that in a minute. Mick Cantone was the last. Well, Drew Dahmer. She gave me a gift card instead of cash when I was having my survival fund, and I thought, well, I'll just use this to help keep my channel going. So I purchased some items that I reviewed. So that makes her a patron. Thank you, Drew. She's been a friend on Facebook for a good friend on Facebook for 12 years. Great person. Mick Cantone is an incredible musician and film expert, art expert, great artist, thinker, very left-wing, very kind, compassionate dude. So he has become a patron officially. He's always supported the channel, like moral support and feedback. But I'm going to review his second album under his project name, Children of Minerva. I've been kind of soaking it in. I'm not sure when the actual review will air, but it won't be very much longer, Mick, I promise. So thank you. So yeah, I mean, and there's tons of people I'd like to thank who've helped me with my survival fund over the last year, and I will in another video. I've been meaning to do that, devote a video to that, a short video, shorter than this one. So anyway, that's who I wanted to thank, and that's kind of more minutia and information than needed to be used to express all of it. where I am now is, yeah, my material existence, like day to day, like finances and conditions, living conditions, and things that impact my physical health directly, and that would impact my mental health more if I didn't have such great treatment from some great doctors. Um, the that that material condition right now is the worst it's been since 2015 when I had to sell my last house. And I did get to buy this one, so that was cool. But I went through a lot, getting from, I hit rock bottom. It was rough. So, the next roughest, a more rough period emotionally for me was when Mike's fiance moved out and left me and abandoned me. And that was that was a heavier thing, but the grieving of it was spread out over a long period of time. So I didn't have like this one big thing that, oh my God, how am I going to survive? I have no money. In that case, at least my material situation was fairly stable. My HOA wasn't harassing me then, not that often anyway. And things were in better shape here. I still had I still had central air last summer before that died. I don't have it now at all. Um, and I had two jobs, and one was growing more and more erratic and unreliable, and I was not attending it as much as I had been, and I had the option of not attending it because I was like an independent contractor. Um, but I got to where I saw it was a sinking ship, so that's why recently I moved to a new job in the same building that I like a lot. It's way better, much better job. Um, my other job was my eBay. On any given day, I can make more in a day on eBay than in a week at that other job I just mentioned. Well, the economy destroyed everything. Uh, things changed. Things changed for a lot of reasons that a lot of us would unanimously agree on, and reasons that unfortunately a lot of people would disagree on, which is unfortunate because they're pretty much there's pretty much empirical evidence of what led to what, and still is, the decline of the dying empire that we inhabit. That and a lot of my viewers here, not all, but who live in America, we were born into this, and we were sold a bill of goods, and it was a fucking lie. Not only find out it was a lie, but then they whipped it out from under us and burned it and said, just kidding. Americans aren't exceptional. Fuck you. My political side again. But that's really how I feel about it, because that's the way it is. And I think millions of us are now like, wow, okay, so this isn't the place we were told it was. This isn't the dream. This isn't the answer. The way it is can be changed, and they don't want us to know that. But unfortunately, so many people get ground down by material circumstances like poverty and other things like mine that stem from financial problems and institutional problems and establishment problems and employment issues and government bureaucracy, and all of this stuff trickles down to where I have to live the way I live now, uh, which is horrible. I mean, I own my own house completely. I paid cash, but there, I have two institutions uh, actively, different institutions, actively trying to take my house away from me. They'll get off my back for weeks at a time, and then boom, they'll start threatening me again, and it's very stressful. It's very stressful. So that was the big thing about my survival fund, was help me keep my home, or at least now what I want to do is survive until the heat wave ends, and then I'm going to move. So I've already set up a lot of things, and my therapist is helping me. Um, but things are moving slower now than ever as far as bureaucracy and red tape. People have always, my whole life, people have made fun of that, and rightfully so. But COVID slowed everything to a dead halt. Then the engines started kind of whirring again, but when they stuttered back to life, they didn't do so for all of us. Third of the economy was incontrovertibly destroyed, of the American economy. Um, Anyone watching who doesn't live in America, I'm telling you the truth. If you hear otherwise, it's not accurate. Economically, America is doing far worse than than the societies that it's currently attempting to aggressively antagonize into a nuclear war that will kill every single one of us. Or at the very least, destroy our entire way of life and lay waste to the world and make it uninhabitable for future generations that do survive. And to be honest, I'm more sad. I'd be more sad about the animals than the humans. Actually, I thought I saw my animal. I don't know where my animal. Um, you should watch the movie Threads. I did a kind of quick review of it among extreme or controversial dark films. Halloween 2020. I'll probably do a full length one on that sometime because I think it's a movie that everyone right now needs to watch and go, wow, okay, this is what's going to happen. Do we really want this? Do we really want people in leadership who can do this to us and who are right now, even as I'm talking, trying to do this to us? So again, I'm getting way off the rails politically. So anyway, I'm going to shut this thing down and say, as far as future plans for the channel, yes, probably more political rants, but I actually was going to film another video, which I may or may not film at all. But it was about two Uber drivers I had on 2 separate days this past week, and they were very different experiences. It was 2 days in a row, and it was like so diametrically opposite. And both of them, the bad experience and the good experience, both of them, and in total, in sum, drove me to rage and tears for, about a half hour before I had to clock in at work. I was like, man, I wish I could record a video now. I just was, I don't know. It was weird, but I'll share it sometime maybe. Some anecdote that has nothing to do with the title of the video. I'm reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder, so I was talking to these 2 different Uber drivers about the state of the world. So what the fuck does that have to do with Thor: Love and Thunder? Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm not going to be able to see in the theater, so I'm hoping I'll be able to check it out somehow, sometime. I was very much looking forward to it. I don't let fan bros color my views of things with their babbles, much less the mainstream giant press institutions. But sometimes I sense a gestalt forming, and I dig, and there may be some truth there. So I'm not sure I'm going to unreservedly love the Thor movie like I did Ragnarok. So we'll see. I'm skeptical about it. I'm not heavily skeptical about it. I don't believe in the decline of the MCU that everybody's, like I said, fan bros to professional, well-paid pundits are all saying is happening. Just because Ms. Marvel was, let's be frank, a piece of garbage on every level, except maybe 1 or 2 minor ones that weren't enough to redeem it. And just because Eternals, same thing. I liked everything else, liked to passionately love everything else of Phase 4. But I haven't seen Thor. I'm being remiss. But I will watch She-Hulk. And that could be kind of that could kind of turn my view after I see those 2 things. And then the last thing's going to be Wakanda Forever, which I do like the trailer. I think what's happened is unfortunate. And I just want to take a second to say what everyone else has said a million times. But seriously, I was in shock when Chadwick Boseman died. Because I don't really connect to actors anymore, much less contemporary actors who are in big movies, even big Marvel movies. Like if Chris Evans died, I love Chris Evans. I'd be like, oh man, but then I'd be going around, that'd be it. Uh, Robert Downey Jr. maybe the same thing, even though I was a big fan of his before he joined Marvel. Uh, but Boseman, it was so unexpected, and he and the character who I'd always loved, always will, had become so iconic globally. It was such a phenomenon, unheard of phenomenon, that, and he had kept his everything secret and devoted himself completely, and a few other movies, but mainly to this role and making it iconic. Um, I'm still sad about his death. It was a shock. It was, no one could see it coming, and he wanted it that way because he didn't want people's judgments to interfere with his work. And I think he was very wise. It's kind of like Freddie Mercury announced, "Yes, I have AIDS," and then died the next day. He knew he was on the way out, so he's like, "Yeah, okay, I've got this." No, then he died. Um, Bozeman didn't even do that. He just died. You know. So anyway, the channel's going to continue with a lot of reviews. Um, yeah, well, that Bozeman thing got me bummed out here. So anyway, uh, I will talk to you soon. As far as channel plans, I'll talk about that in the next video. I've run over long. Thanks again for everyone for being part of all the subscribers and all the views and likes. I love you. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you want to be a channel patron, you can donate to the channel either financially through my PayPal, or you can um, purchase items that you would like me to review. And any other way you can support and help, it's all in the description below. But thanks to everyone who has. Love you guys. I'll see you hopefully soon. Take care.